Hello, it is your sweet friend, Teresa Phelps Martin, and I am here to help us realign with the goodness of our heart, with the ability to feel reconnected to our values, to return and remember what matters most, and to really, rather than fight, to reclaim. And in that reclamation, we really have to recalibrate. So I got all my out of the way in the first opening moment. Yes, warming up the body for sure. We have a little bit of fire in the sky today, and it's at the tail end. And it's this fire energy, like when I start talking about the elemental application, there's no two fires that are alike. So this is really about the individual fire. This is about the fire of the heart. This is about the fire of being the warrior. This is about that ability to survive and go for it. It's nice to have the fire today when we're covered in a blanket of beautiful snow here in Louisville, Kentucky. But in that energy of fire with air, we're in the element of air that's really fixed, that's focused, that is going to keep the weather cold, that is going to see that winter is sustained, and at least in the northern hemisphere, that we can get fixated and almost stubborn in the thinness, right? In the details. Sun and warmth would be great, absolutely. But the energy of the all-knowing, like knowing that winter has to happen, knowing that, however, we will have that birth of spring again, 100%. It's consistent. The seasons are consistent. We live in Kentucky, at least I do, and we have all 4 seasons. And yes, things are changing. However, we're being reminded that winter is here. But soon we will have that birth of spring. We will have the sweet kisses of all the little budding energy that's coming out of the frozen ground. So we're gonna work with that today. But remembering that we are breaking ground. We're breaking ground in the way of coming back to lessons we've learned, of feeling that integration of not just the past year, but really looking at the past 20 years. And what has that integration looked like? And how can we step forward in a way that we are stepping forward on the foundation of the connection to all, to everyone. So let's go for it. As I'm recording this from the place in which I teach, is that we're in a energy of newness and building of momentum and the calling forward to realign. You get to decide what you want to realign with. Do you want to just keep it surface level? Are you in that ability to realign with the collective energy of the sacred breath? Are you interested in realizing that we're all experiencing great transformation and change together, but how that's building the structure of our life is still very, very individual. So what are you realigning with? What energy are you reconnecting to? So if it's on the physical level, maybe you're just realigning to your own strength, I know I am. I'm working really hard in healing deep, deep injuries, and it's coming out through my shoulders. And realizing that and all the training and experience I have in working with the physical body, even I have to go to new systems and new energies, including getting a massage again. Because it's the one thing that when I couldn't have it during major quarantine, it was the one thing that I missed the most was massage. So it might be on the physiological level. It could be realigning with in the mental, like how do you want to change your thinking? How do you want to be aware? Because the way we change our thoughts is if we become aware. That doesn't ever go away. And not so much bashing the mind. If it has a dream, then just reflect, like what do you then need to change in your own habits to make that dream, that vision to come more alive. And since I just used the word vision, so it might be in that spiritual realm, that soul realm of what is that vision and what are you realigning with and coming into a new vision. Or maybe it's just in the emotional layer and you want to come back to that recognition of loving in of your own self to then be able to love all the changes, right? If you've gone through a lot of crisis or chaos in your life, then you know that there is a breakthrough. You know that there is a side you're crossing. There's a lot of change going on with the seniors of our life, my husband and I's right now, and it's intense and it's actually very cosmically aligned in a really wild way. But in that intensity, I can see through it because I know when we get to the other side, it'll be really great. We're going to start standing because we're in that momentum. If you need a block, if you need a wall, just to help you with your balance and that structure, please bring it forward for yourself. We will stoke the fire. We will get the breath going, but know that that's really important for today. All right, let's do it. Standing, Tadasana. Stand on the mountain of your light. And as standing, we're going to stand with that connection of realigning with the heart. Your hands can go into the position and the placement that is of service for you. Hold on to that light and we'll enjoy a moment of quiet where we connect to those 3 breaths of the physical, the calling in the highest, and the integration into the heart. And then I'm adding the 4th layer now, is that there's just the pause for the assimilation. It's the turiya. So we create, we call in, we allow it to dissolve in our hearts, and then we allow for the transformation. As we embark on this journey of being with the body, the mind, the heart, our souls, that we remind ourselves what we're realigning with. Big breath in. And a big breath out. We remind ourselves that our choices hold consequences, so we choose mindfully. Big breath in. And a big breath out. And we return to our own strength. So we're going to come to the base energy of the heart and just remind that our inner agency, our inner authority, and drawing the front rib cage in and feeling the expansion into the back body. Let the arms come by your sides. Lift the shoulders up, draw into that core, hug the hips, push into the earth. Feel the sides of the body growing length, the roof of the mouth lengthening, and 3 breaths here. There's a fierceness of your strength right now. You're holding skin to muscle to bone, hugging from the periphery to hold the system of your being, because we want to ignite the heart in such a way that our nervous system feels held. And as you exhale, bend the knees, thighs move back, hands stay up, fold forward, circle the wrists around, relax the neck and jaw, then bring the hands to the earth or your shin bones. Inhale, find length. Exhale, bow down, knees bend, roll the spine up, hugging in, invoking the back body, shoulders shrug out, get the length through the sides of the body. Shoulders draw in. It's as if you're holding a big ball of energy behind you to sustain you. Lift the heart. Big full breath in. Open the throat. Don't let the head fall off. The head's really important today. Exhale. Hinge at the hips. Bow. Hands stay up. Circle the wrists. Wiggle the fingers. Then release the hands. Inhale. Find length. Breathing into the whole back body, hug the outer hips, anchor to the earth, bow, knees bend, and feeling that connection, that solidifying the whole center line of the body. Shoulders lift, draw back, hugging the arms to the back line of the body, opening the heart, full, gracious breath here. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, bow all the way down. So we're going to do one more. Inhale, find length. Right, so this would be the ending of the cycle. Feel the closure, and with this one, allow for just the expansion of what is, what's coming forward, what insights are you being reminded of in this moment. Big breath in, and then exhale, hinge the hips all the way back down to the earth. Inhale, find length. Exhale, bow down. Knees bend, chin relaxes. Yes, baby. Roll the spine up. Inhale, opening. Big, gracious breath in. I'm being reminded that I have children. What, babe? Yeah, just let Lulu in, please. Yeah, just let Lulu in. What are you being reminded of? Inhale, arms go high. Big full breath in. So bring the hands together. I know I cut myself off. Bring the hands together, interlace them, shoulders into the back, lift through the heart. So I want you to feel this whole center line. Ribs are drawing in, sides are lifted. We're not moving a bunch here, but you should feel electric, like you're breaking ground in a new way of being that's going to support you and serve you and honor the vision you hold. Big breath in, exhale, hinge at the hips, all the way down to the earth. Relax the neck and jaw. Knees are going to bend. Step back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. As you find your dog, spread through your hands. Try not to move too much so you can feel that igniting within of your own strength, of your connection, of your capacity to grow. Feel all that's wanting to stretch out, all that's needing to clear, and then realign with your own heart. Draw into that core, soften, and then expand. Inhale the right knee to the right wrist. You're going to come all the way down to the earth, partly because most of you guys live in Kentucky that are watching this, not everybody. But the delicacy of walking on the ground to make sure you don't fall is intense. There's a lot of tension around that. So coming to your forearms, but just realize we're going somewhere kind of big. Soften the area in the shoulders. Draw the strength of the legs together. Feel, are you letting the whole base of your heart spill out? If so, wrap the ribs towards each other. Draw in towards the belly. And you're going to push your forearms to the ground. Inch the left knee in. So you're in a high, your hips are high pigeon here. Inch the left knee in a little bit more. Hug the outer hips towards the tail. Don't pull the tail down. You're just hugging towards that midline. Inhale the knee up and then come right into your forearm plank.
Full breath in. Bend the knees if you need to. Soften the heart. Realign to the infrastructure and the wisdom in you, the values of your heart. What are you showing up for? And how can you allow that to serve you and support you? Then you're going to bring the hips to the ground. Heart stretches forward. Shoulders roll back. Lift through the belly. Open the heart. Full breath in. Exhale, bow all the way down. Hands come under the shoulders. Cobra or upward dog. Inhale, curl the heart open. And exhale back, downward dog. Find your dog. Ground in, settle in, breathe. Feel the connection and just don't force the alignment right now. Don't force the alignment anytime, but rather allow for the breath, allow for the connection. Notice and feel what feels off, what cleared up, what's asking for your attention. And then inhale, left knee to the left wrist, coming all the way down, finding solid ground, even though the ground is frozen. Oh, it's frozen. And in that energy that we need, we actually, for the fertility of the earth to provide us the resources, the earth needs to freeze. And in that freezing energy that we can sustain that fertility, we can sustain that ability of what's that vision, what are we realigning, what are we remembering, what are we reconciling and recalibrating with. Inch the back knee in so you feel height. Connect to what your shoulders are doing. You've got to pay super duper attention to how you're engaging because you're in charge of you. Inhale the back knee up, draw into the center, lift into the core, and then you're going to lift the knee, glide into that forearm plank, readjust as much as you need to. Hold steady. Big breath in. And then we're going to come down into that Sphinx. My hands are staying together. You may need to open them up. Push into the earth, draw into the core. As your elbows push to the ground, your shoulders drawn, sweep the heart forward. Allow it to open up, big, full breath. What are you connected to? Just getting into the pose, or are you really connected to the process of the inner connection? To me, that's what this is all about. How do we embody and experience the greater energy of ourselves? Exhale, pat all the way down, hands under the shoulders, cobra or upward dog. Inhale, rising up. Lift through the belly and moving back, downward dog. Big full breath in, full breath out. Tune in, attune, and then exhale your knees to the earth. You're gonna sit back on your heels. I'm gonna lose a layer. My kids are going sledding, so they were all layered up. It was cute. Like lots of piles because it's cold outside. And my son goes, Mom, you're dressed for summertime. So anyhow, and so all you have to do is stoke that fire on the inside to clear so that tension of the nerves can dissolve and it can feel insulated. So your toes are tucked, you're pulling back. The shoulders are going to draw back. Feel these ribs drawing in. We're not flaring out. Draw in. We're going to come to that forearm prep again. If you are good in headstand, you can do headstand, okay? Otherwise, come into that forearm prep. Forearms to the earth. I have my hands in Anjali Mudra, pushing them to the ground. Pushing the outer edge of the wrist to the ground. Draw into the belly, arm bones are forward, they're plugging in, and then they're drawing into the heart. Lift into that core, you may just be here, okay? You might come to your head and feel the connection just to walk the feet in. You want to be aligned with you, and then you're just gonna take one foot up. You do not have to be on your head, you don't even have to take a foot up, but do breathe. Because where does our nervous system connect? In the head, into the brain. And we want to connect the heart and the mind more fully. Foot comes to the earth, draw into the belly, realign. And in that realignment, inhale the other leg up. Pull into the midline. We're just stoking the fire. We're not trying to perform and just make shapes. We're actually trying to present the connection to our true self, our potential. Exhale, the foot comes back down. And you're going to walk your feet back. Head comes off the earth, knees come down. Don't move the head around. Lift through the core, draw your hips back, slide into child's pose. Inhale, rise up onto your hands and knees. So just know the invitation of when there's a pause, the invitation is for those 4 breaths. The acceptance or the appreciation of the physical realm, calling in the spiritual, the higher self realm, integrating it into the emotional, and then allowing it to just settle so we can realign. You find your hands and knees. Tuck the toes, draw into the belly, and move back, downward dog. Inhale, the right leg parallel. Bend the knee, open the hip up. Stay really strong through the core, opening up. What have you learned in the past 2 days? Or in the past 20 years? What is coming? What are you reconciling? Inhale, square it off. Step the foot through to a lunge. Pivot the back heel to the floor. Hand's going to come to the inside of the right foot and bend the knee. So both of my hands are on the ground. It's a little wonky, and if you're longer torsoed and shorter limbed, which you might be, you might have to be on your fingertips or your hands may not come to the earth. You're going to bend the knees, both of them are bent, draw into the belly, and then stay lifted into the core. Sweep the left arm by your ear. So this is not a highly aligned expression for me, but we want to feel the misalignment, right? We want to feel what it is to not be able to breathe and stay connected. And so now you're going to realign. Bring the hand to the earth. Maybe come to your fingertips. Maybe the elbow comes to the thigh. Bend the knees, ground, reconnect. And this version of yourself, this moment, your hand may still be on the earth. Shoulders are into the back. You're drawing in, and then the arm stretches by the ear. So, in my own personal process, even though I was reaching for a more full expression of the pose, there was no connection to me, to this part of my being. This part of our being is essential right now. Big, full breath in, full breath out. Push the feet into the earth, ignite, right arm comes up, arms stretch out wide, pull into the center, inhale, rise all the way up. Straighten the front leg, turn the foot in, arms go wide, feet turn out, exhale into that goddess squat. Anchor the tail, draw into the belly, left elbow comes under the right, eagle arms. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Big full breath in. Full breath out. We're going for those 4 clear connected breaths. Last one. And then inhale, straighten the legs. Turn the left foot in. Internally rotate the left leg. Turn the right foot out. Draw in to that center, into that connection. Right arm stretches, bend the knees if you need to readjust. And in that readjustment, draw in, lengthen through the sides. Hands comes to the shin or to the earth. Even though I can get to the earth, I'm going to stop on my shin. Lots of connection, drawing in, opening in. Because we want to realign. We don't want to keep just going for the same thing over and over again. We want to pull back enough to reconsider and reconnect. Lengthen through the sides of the body, open the throat, and then instead of your arm going up, it's going to stretch by your ear. Inhaling all the way in. Exhaling out. Bend the knee, hand to the earth. Spin the back heel up. Slide the left knee in behind the right foot. Come all the way seated. Okay? And if it didn't go that gracefully, it's all good. Find your seat. Maybe your foot needs to come in front of the knee. Maybe you can cross over. Hands around the eye of the knee, lengthen through the spine. Use the core, shoulders to the back. Right hand goes behind you, left arm comes across. I'm going to do a bigger opening, palms come together, elbows are wide, lift through the heart. Shoulders into the back. Reconnect. Remind yourself. Appreciate your body, all that it's gone through. It's still here for you. And then inhale, come back through the center. Stand into the right foot. You're gonna pull the hips up. So this is a really important thing to learn how to be able to get the butt up off the ground. Pull the hips up, bring the left thigh parallel, bend both knees, pull into the core. The leg's gonna stretch out behind you. Kick the foot towards the ground, internally rotate. Left hand moves out in front of you, right hand comes to the heart. Make the connection, and in the connection, lengthen the heart, hold to the center, and then twist, revolved half moon. Big breath in, and a big, full breath out. Exhale to the earth, hands come down, move back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward into plank pose. So this is our first plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. I'm going to do knees down. You go the way you need to go. Maybe you just plop to the floor and then reconnect. But anytime I'm on a journey of healing, I do not push it. I actually work on pulling back and finding the strength. So as you move through, stay connected to the alignment of your own wisdom body, not just your intellect. Get into the heart as well. And then move back, downward dog. Breathe all the way into the back body. Get to the back bottom part of your lungs and your ribs, because all this frozen water is keeping us from being able to melt the ice of our heart and wake up to a bigger vision, which means we're not breathing into the depths of our potential. Inhale, left leg lifts, draw into the core, bend the knee, open the hip up, and then inhale, step the foot through to a lunge. Pivot the back heel to the floor, left hand's gonna be on the ground, right hand's on the ground. I know it's awkward, but we're getting into the back shoulder blades. Push into the feet, look at where your feet are. What direction are they turning? And then bend the knees, draw in, feel your stance, and then you're gonna push into the back foot, really grab it, draw into the core, stretch the arm by your ear. Looks amazing, right? I can make amazing shapes with my body. Doesn't mean I need to, because I can't breathe. There's no connection into this line right here. Completely disconnected, even though it looks amazing. So you gotta realign. It's not about the external. It is so not about the external. It's about doing justice of the inner world. So back off, maybe just your hand, maybe your elbow, realign, reconnect, and reaffirm. Reaffirm what's there so that you can return to the expression that is of service. It's so hard to get it all and pay attention to it all. So what's your hand doing? What's your bottom shoulder doing? Your rib cage, your thighs, are they pushing forward or are they moving back? Don't just go for the hit of the pose. Because here's the deal. Haha, surprise. Guess what? Wake that core up. So you gotta really pull the ribs in. You gotta use the buns. Left hand comes up. Feel the connection. Inhale, come all the way up. Straighten the front leg, holy moly. Both feet turn forward. Connect to your stance. Then the toes turn out, heels come in, arms go wide, right elbow goes under the left. Move into the core, shoulders go to the back. 4 breaths here. I gotta internally rotate my leg real quick. Ah! 4 breaths. What are you breathing into? What's the mental conversation? What's the chatter? What's the inner dialogue? Inhale, rise up. Arms go wide. Believe it or not, my inner dialogue is usually remembering so many of your all smiles. So turn the right foot in, left foot turns out, which is actually a habit that I'm trying to shift because I tend to forget about myself. Anybody else? There. Inhale the arms wide. Make the connection. Draw into the core. As you draw in, shoulders come to the back. It's not so much that we drop our hips and move them back. You don't want to ever drop. You want to feel the container connected. And then in that connection, the thighs go back so that when you shift, you're really clear of what's going on in this region, right? Is the heart all flared out and you're dropped into the back? Or can you wrap it in? Move into where your triangle, your trikyasana wants to go, and then connect into it. And as you connect into it, feel the opening, the expansion. Yeah, even my arm wanted to go up, but there's the shift, the realignment, giving ourselves permission to do it differently. And not doing it differently where it's a volcanic eruption or an explosion, but a recognition of a subtle shift. Reconnect to the values. To me, that's to connecting to your own potential and breathing with it. And then as you exhale, hand comes to the earth, spin the back heel up. You can always bring the knee down, okay? And move the foot and then lean back. You don't have to slide it forward. Come, so both hips, but the deal is you gotta get all the way to the ground. We are still earthlings. Once you get all the way to the ground, draw into the core, find length. Ribs are drawing in, shoulders are drawing in, not down, just in, holding that container. And then getting the expansion, elbow comes across, palms come together. Enjoying your breath. Your journey. Where do you travel? How can you travel into the heart? And bring forward the treasure of your own potential because you pause long enough to reconnect. Not to be aggressive, but honestly being motivated to refine. And now come all the way back to the center. You're going to lean forward, step the foot forward. So we're reclaiming. Inhale the back knee up. So you want to be really clear. What's the ground you're standing on? What's the foundation? How can you pull up into the waistline? Then bring, so the hips are even here. Bring the right leg parallel. Pull the legs together. Kick the foot towards the ground. Lift into the core. Left hand comes to the heart. Just get here first. And then once you get there, you can continue to stay connected as you journey forward. And you're journeying forward not from the mind having the imprint of, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. I've done this pose so many times before. But rather the connection to being open to a brand new experience right here, right now. Arm stretches up, twisting. This side's gonna fall and collapse like mine is. It's hard. Breathing fully. And then exhale, bend the knee, step it back, downward dog. Right, so all the poses we've done, that one's a little tough, but they're all foundational poses. We're just doing them with a very advanced connection. Inhale forward into a plank pose, and that's the discipline. Knees high or low, moving through, right? What is it for you? What's the connection you need to honor? And then as you connect, you can expand the heart can rise. You can open yourself up. And then move it back, downward dog. Deep, full breath in, full breath out. Walk your feet forward, and then bow. Inhale, find length, open the heart. Exhale, bow into it. You can come up through an extended spine or roll the spine up. Really feel the solidity, connecting, opening. Arms by your sides, shoulders into the back. Standing in your light. Connect to that vertical line. Connect to that horizontal line. Inhale the arms forward, bring the right arm underneath the left. So eagle arms, maybe it's just being here. Maybe it's wrapped. Elbows rise, shoulders draw in, pull the ribs back, and as the ribs pull back, move the inner thighs back with them. Bend the knees. Maybe keep both feet on the ground. Maybe just bring the right knee up. Don't go into eagle pose like you know it. Okay? Or bring your ankle to rest on your thigh. So it's not eagle pose like you know it. Draw into the belly. And sit back. And now you're going to bow. So hold to that center line a lot. The challenge is in doing it differently. You're going to come back up, maybe. Inhale, bring the knee back to the center. Pull in. And then we're going to shift again. Hinge. Move it back. Right leg's parallel. It's a warrior 3 leg. Make the connection. And then you're going to come all the way back up. This time you're going to go now into eagle pose. I had to cheat and bring my right foot down to clear out my left leg. So it's not really cheating, it's actually listening. I should totally change that languaging. It's listening to the inner need of my being. I'm not about undermining the call of the wisdom of the body. Yes, there is tension, but we are not here to hurt ourselves. We're not here to cause harm. Inhale, rise all the way up. Free the arms. Find both feet. Shoulders to the back. Breathe into your resilient nature. Aren't you so excited to do the other side? So we've created a warmth. If you're not warm right now, then you're not working enough. You're not breathing enough. You're not making a strong enough connection to this core line. Inhale, arms go forward. Right elbow comes underneath the left. My shoulders are going through a lot of transformation. Draw the belly in. Draw the ribs in. Shoulders draw in. Knees are going to bend, so you're pulling the rib cage back, and then the thighs go back. We're not moving the thighs back and then the ribs. From the heart, connect to your roots. The knees bend, maybe stay here. So powerful for the low back to stay here. My body's like, let's just stay here. But I showed you the other side, I'll do this side. Maybe just the heel comes up. Maybe the foot comes up. Again, you're doing it differently. This first one, you're opening yourself up to a different way. Ankle comes across maybe. Thighs pull back, pull into the core first, and then move the thighs back as you bow forward. Keep breathing and aligning, maybe even sweating. And then inhale, rise up, knee comes up, I'm shaking, are you? Draw into the core, shift the weight back. Really lift into that core, warrior one. Use your waistline to help you navigate, not your feet. Move from that inner self, from your values, from your strength, from your potential, from your agency. And then inhale, come all the way up and come into eagle, Garudasana, aka evil pose. And it feels super evil right now, right? Adjust, breathe, make the connection. Inhale, rise all the way up. Both feet to the ground. Free the hands. Stand in your light, your fierce love. The warriorship it took to remain steady, to stay the course, to realign anytime you needed to, not to wildly abandon the truth of your heart, but radically reclaim all that is yours. Inhale the hands to heart center or the center of the forehead. Big full breath in. Step the feet as wide as you need to. We're going into a squat. Find the feet, ground into the earth. Come slowly so you can tune in. Honor the fact that you're willing to change what you knew. To wake up to what could be. Touch the hands to the earth. Come seated. Soles of the feet come together. Hands come back behind you. Draw into the core, find length. Open the heart up. We're just staying upright here. And then we're going to step our feet apart. Right, so I just want us to get grounded. You're going to open your legs wide. Hi. And as your legs go wide, adjust. Do you need to sit up on something? Are you in the land of holy mackerel? My inner thighs are tight. They can be tight if you've been walking on ice, right? We just pull in, or at least I do. Because I don't want to get hurt. I don't mind being risky as long as it's calculated, like I'm realistic. So as you're here on your mat, ground down. So bring your hands to your thighs. Do you feel that your thighs are rolling backward and your pubic bone's pulling up? And can you tilt forward and let your pubic bone and inner thighs move down? So just move back and forth for a second. Use your core to create the pelvic tilt forward and back. This will feel subtle, but hopefully it feels good after the balancing flow we just did. And then you're going to tilt your pubic bone forward and then anchor your outer hips and your sit bones towards the ground. Lengthen through the spine. Adjust your hand, move your hands where they need to be. I usually go back here, but I'm switching things up. I'm bringing my hands to my thighs. I'm not pushing my knees down. Elbows are going to widen, pull into the core, lengthen through the spine, find length. And as you find that length, I think everybody here knows gecko arms, where your hands are wide. Elbows are not down, they're up. Walk your hands forward, elbows go wide. Stay lifted into the core, keep leaning forward. Go until your inner thighs say no thank you. My inner thighs are calling a full stop, hard stop right here, right now. But the rest of my body says, yes, but we know we can get to the ground. We've worked on it for almost 20 years. And we can just go. But my inner thighs say, no, you're doing a lot of deeper work. Please know that that deeper expression will come. Because guess what? You guys are devoted. Even in the pandemic, when you have to relearn the way you show up to your mat, you've remained committed. So well done. Exhale out wherever you are. Maybe you went all the way down. Maybe you're holding steady. Then ground into the earth. Inhale, come out. You might need to bend one knee. As a matter of fact, I know I'm going to. Okay? If you bend one knee, bend the left knee. We're going to twist to the right. So I don't do this one very often, so be aware. Tune into your low back. It can be a real intense twist to the lumbar. You know who you are if I'm talking to you. You want to feel that ability to draw into the core, and you just want to watch that it's not this outer hip rolling forward, okay? You actually keep the outer hip down, lengthen through the spine, and then twist over, right? The belly's rolling, gecko arm, the right hand, and then twist over the right leg. So this is more of a twisted head to knee pose. Lift into the core. You could have done it with both legs wide and bow. Watch the outer hips from going wide and out and up. We want the inner thighs to go down and back, but we want the outer hips to also go down and in. What's going on with the shoulders? What's going on with the length of the neck? How can you realign? How can you reclaim what is yours? How can you come to know your inner agency so you can continue to choose mindfully? That means you use the wisdom, which is the experience, the knowledge, and the intuition. Exhale out completely. Stay lifted to the core. Lengthen the spine. Inhale, come all the way up. If you bent your knee, re-extend the leg. Come back to the middle. Once you're to the middle, thighs are grounded, core is lifted. Find that length. By the way, I always appreciate your all's care when I dialogue of different aches and pains. I appreciate the offerings that you've given. I am actually in a place where I have to allow other people to do the work for me. Like go and have people retrain the patterning, because all the things that I know are just putting me back into that same patterning. And I share that because we have to be willing to step out of the box. And if we can say, hey, I have this whole toolkit and I know it serves me and it serves me well, but I have to open myself up to doing things differently, to feeling the perseverance of getting uncomfortable, because that's how we realign. When the commotion comes, and when we've all been uncomfortable for almost a year now, that yes, it feels inconvenient, but that's how great change and transformation comes. We're just in a collective shift. So draw the ribs in, anchor the tail, lift, through the spine. Bend the right knee if you're going to adjust. And you have to adjust the legs. You can't just go from wide legs to bent knee and not change anything. See? Pull in, find length. So you want to engage the muscles. I'm more of make sure the knee's moving up. Because if I turn my foot up, it internally rotates from my knee to my hip. So I have to let my foot turn out. You do you. And the only way you can do you is if you sit and spend time with yourself. So realign with you, your highest self. Appreciate the body. Call on the highest. Integrate into the heart. Activate the core. Find the length. You're going to bow. So I'm not using gecko arms this time. I'm actually pushing my left hand down into my left thigh. I'm not pushing the knee to the ground. And I'm pushing the left thigh towards the midline, drawing the waistline back, finding length, and then bowing. And breathing into it. Did you know that forward bends are some of my favorite poses? They feel the best to me. Especially after standing on one foot. What about you? Don't you enjoy the reward after being challenged? And that's a little bit of my tenacity of when I'm just irritable or agitated. I like to be worked. Because why? It works through what I can't get to clear. So then when you come to a forward bend such as this, it's amazing. Push into the earth, lengthen the spine. Use that core to pull you up. You're pulling the waistline back all the way up. All right, legs go wide. Last time, find Upavishta Konasana. I am going to stay here in Upavishta Konasana because it is much more supportive to my low back, my hips, my knees, and even my feet, which that translates all the way up my neck and into my shoulders. We're all connected. Can you believe that? You might want to bring the soles of your feet together. You may want to sit cross-legged. We're going to breathe for a moment. And in that breath, we're going to do the Kapalabhati breath, the skull cleansing breath, where we really work with the exhalation. And what I want us to do is work with the exhalation to feel not so much a force, but just a cleansing. So that whatever it is you're wanting to realign with, physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, that we're not just calling on our own strength, but we're collaborating, because when we recalibrate our systems, we want to know we're not alone. So remember, the Kapalabhati is where you encourage the exhalation, and then the inhale just follows. Hips are grounded, core is engaged. Big breath in. I like to close my eyes, maybe you do too. Big full exhale out. Use the core completely. Inhale in and begin. Exhale all the way out. Cleansing breath in. Cleansing breath all the way out. We're doing 3 rounds. Inhale in again. And begin. Exhale all the way out. Cleansing breath in. Cleansing breath out. Last round. If it's too much, just breathe naturally. Inhaling in and begin. exhale out. Inhaling in and exhaling out. Just allow the breath, no force. Allow the breath to just dance. And sit in the energy of you. Adjust what needs to be adjusted so you can stay the course. Big cleansing breath in. Big cleansing breath out. Bring the hands together in front of your heart. Enjoy the warmth you've cultivated internally. We haven't changed the fact that we're in the middle of winter as we record this, but rather by staying engaged and realigning to the strength of our own heart, to the resilient nature of our own potential, and the opportunity to be true and real with ourselves. And just for the next few moments, make a connection to all the hearts that are beating with yours. Remembering even those that went before you, that their journey and their trials and their tribulations and their challenges pave the path for you to be right here, right now. Offer thanks. Honor any unfinished business and wounds. And then simply call in the light to help guide you. Come back to your own beating heart in this moment. Breathing into the deeper layers of yourself that you felt on your mat. The ritual of the practice brings us back to this moment. We want to honor it and then see the light that's calling you forward. No matter how foggy or confusing it is or exhausted you might be, enjoy how you've restored a connection to what awaits you. And the hearts that you'll be connected to, and the company that you'll keep, and the network, and the group, and the collective that can be conscious of your heart beating, belonging, and becoming that greater version of yourself, even if it just means enjoying Shavasana. Come back to this moment here and now. Let your head bow down. Breathe all the way into your hips and out to your feet, now through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, soften. Let the hands touch to the earth. If you can keep your eyes closed, great. If they need to open, open them. Bring your legs together. Come lying all the way down to the ground, knees into your chest. A gentle hug. We want to feel good in our bodies. Take your feet up to the sky. Let the knees be as bent as they need to. Find the tail. Wrap your outer hips. You're just going to still feel that core. Just allow for the change of blood flow. And then bend the knees again. Bring the feet to the earth. Feet go wide, knees go together. Or feet go together, knees go wide. And then slowly come all the way to the earth. Allow yourself to be held. Allow for the breath. Allow for the recalibration. Allow for the recombobulation. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. Feel yourself breathing into exactly who you are, just as you are. Stretch it out fully and then bend the knees. Use that core. Stay connected. Roll over to one side. And slowly come up. Sitting well with the energy of yourself. Let the hands come and rest on your heart. Honoring the journey. And the honor is mine.
to share with you this journey of all my wild adventures, my insatiable curiosity, my need to know that we can feel comfortable in our own skin and bones, that we're not navigating the journey by ourselves, and every time we're asked to realign, I promise you there's an audience, there's an applause. The universe is eagerly calling us forward, even though we are being asked to slow down, to repoise ourselves from the remembrance of what truly matters. And so we bring the hands together in front of the heart in acknowledgement that there is a light that is in me, that is in you, and we say hello to it. We offer our salutations to all that is to be because of all that we've become. Namaste. And whatever you're becoming, know that you can begin again anytime. And as you begin again, that you can begin a journey that respects and recognizes the journey you've been on. And so I thank you guys. It's been quite the journey this year, but we're all figuring it out together. And I really want to commend you of finding your way to practice differently, but to practice with a greater connection, to knowing more deeply what sits beneath the surface. And may you be able to still continue to bring that light forward, because we need each other. That's all there is to it. We need the connection and we need the journey together. So I thank you, as always, from my heart to yours, and thank you. Girl, I'll always challenge you to do things differently. It's what my dad did. He always, I grew up. My mom held it together, but my dad called the shots. Does that make sense? And I grew up that there are no rules, except for my dad's rules. Or that the only rule was that there were no rules. And so we were just always pushed to learn the lesson and to grow. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that he was a fighter pilot, and you always debrief, right? You pre-flight, you fly, and then you debrief. And in that journey, right, we need the direct connection in that pre-flight. Like, can we draw it out? Can we see the journey? And then can we step into it? But then can we also reflect? And that just shows up in so many different ways. And so we realign to be resilient and return again. I thank you guys so very much, or truly from the bottom of my heart. Maybe I just show up for myself. Doubt it. I wouldn't record it. So I definitely show up for you all. And I just thank you. I thank you so much, because it's, there's a closure for me, that's happening right now on many, many levels. But I also know there's such a beautiful new beginning, and, I'm just grateful. So thank you. Mwah. It is huge, Sarah. I'm so happy you were here. Huge release, realignment with acceptance, gratitude, and appreciation for this incredible journey. Yeah, girlfriend. It is. It is, and there's still so much to come. There's still so much to come. All right, love you guys so much. Until Thursday. I'll see ya. Bye.